Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, September 23rd, 2025. Wherever, whenever, and however you're watching, thanks for making this part of your week when we got a lot to talk about tonight. First of all, of course, I am Timothy McClelland, America's favorite armchair football fan. And of course, just getting off work a few minutes ago, heading toward his homestead somewhere in the Empire State is, of course, the host of the Hooked on Sports podcast, Mr. John Flynn. Flynn, how you doing?
Howdy, 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 Tim. What's going on?
Not a whole lot here. Still kind of recovering from Sunday, especially with the Cowboys taking a big one against those Bears.
I didn't see much of it live because I was doing other things, but that 1 o'clock slate was just totally bonkers. So that you had three games all decided by field goal attempts in the last in the final seconds with the. So of course with the Eagles' crazy comeback, with the Jets almost coming back, and then Tampa wound up winning in the end with another Baker Mayfield fourth quarter comeback. And then the Browns, they were 7.5 point favorites and were 7.5 point dogs, and they upset the Packers.
Yeah, and I tell you, I mean, for some of these games, it was a block party at the very end or during the game. I mean, I think I must have, when I was watching the replays of the games, uh, I think I must have counted at least, maybe I could be wrong, but like 4 or 5 blocked punts in all those games.
Yeah,
There was like, and two in one game. And I think that was the Eagles game.
it's two blocked field goal attempts in the fourth quarter.
Wow, it was a total block party for those peoples right there. I mean, week 3 was pretty wild, I will say.
Yeah.
But of course, we got a little more to discuss and then some. So right now we're going to have to go straight to the hot topics for this week. And probably some of the big topics are some big injuries that have occurred in the last few days. Probably,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the San Francisco 49ers. Over the last couple of years, they have suffered injuries here and there and everywhere. But this one here, this probably has to sting the most. Their defensive end, their all pro, Nick Bosa, he tore his right ACL in this past week's game. Unfortunately, he is going to be out for the season. So that is a huge chunk of the defense right there. He is basically the heart and soul of that 49ers defense. How are they going to go on without him?
It's next man up, Tim. Because that's the way how you're supposed to do it. So that no one's gonna feel sorry for you, when you have a season when you have guys that go down to season and injuries, and now unfortunately there's gonna be opportunities to really take advantage here.
Yeah, that's right. And with that, we say hello to our esteemed, trustworthy league commissioner, Mr. John Natale.
Hey, I'm doing all right over here.
Yeah, we were just mentioning this past week there were some pretty wild games, especially in the early block of the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we just got into our hot topics talking about the defensive end for the 49ers, Nick Bosa. He's going to be out for the season with a torn ACL.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Ugh. Yeah, they can't catch a break.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, we're talking about the injuries that they've had over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
This one probably has to stink the most.
Mm-hmm. And now, despite although they've been winning, I think they're definitely in trouble now.
The fortunate thing is that they had that two of the wins have been in the division, so that's definitely an encouraging sign. But their next division game is a week from Thursday when they play the Rams on the short week.
Mm.
Yeah, back to back Thursday night games next 2 weeks against between two different NFC West teams. You got the Seahawks and Cardinals this Thursday night, and then they'll stay in the NFC West next week for the Niners and the Rams in LA.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel good about the Cardinals right now. So I finally made my first roster switch. I'm benching Marvin Harrison Jr. this week.
Sheesh, against Seattle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a second, guys.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, moving on, we got another player that's been ruled out for this season. That, of course, is the Los Angeles Chargers running back Najee Harris. He tore his Achilles this past week. So that means that Najee Harris is out, which now brings in their big rookie prospect Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, extra work for him.
So
and he was already getting a bulk of the work. Now he's got more responsibilities.
Now he's going to have more responsibility. Hopefully he can carry the rushing game. And for those of you who don't have Omarion Hampton on your fantasy squad, you might want to check those waiver wires right now, because he's going to be a hot commodity right there, because I think he's got something pretty good here, and see a lot of promise for that young running back over in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your team, the Giants. Looks like the running back Tyrone Tracy had a dislocated shoulder in this past week's game. Looks like he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a blow, but yeah, Cam Scatterbo has been very promising.
Yeah, 24.1 fantasy points this week with the so that he was born out of the passing attack, and he's been he's shown a lot of the promise of why Giants fans were excited about him so when they got him in the draft. He's been superb, and actually he's grossly been outplaying Ashton Genty through 3 weeks.
Now with Tyrone Tracy out, I have a hunch that they're going to promote one of their practice squad players, Dante Turbo Miller. They're going to need some. They're going to need someone to fill in that gap. I don't trust Devin Singletary, because they've been using him for kickoff returns.
So he's going to be the running back too for the next couple of weeks, whether you like it or not. So but speaking of the Giants, Tim.
Yeah, speaking of the Giants, when I heard this, I was like, well, all the Giants fans were expecting this, but were they expecting this early in the season? It seems that Russell Wilson is going to be benched for their first-round draft pick, Jaxson Dart. So,
I mean, I have questions about the timing, but I think if you watched against two actual defenses, I'm sorry about the Cowboy fans out there, but anyway, so but in the 2 games where the Giants faced real defenses, Russell Wilson was turned back into a pumpkin, and all the mind-numbing mistakes, the turnovers, the reckless handling of the football, and with Brian Dable and Joe Shinn on the hot seat, I think they had no choice but to make this move sooner rather than later. So but now Jaxson Dart is going to be facing off against the Chargers defense. So that's been ranked in the top 10 so far.
I somehow had a feeling that they were going to make this move maybe sometime later in the season, maybe even past the midway point. But
I thought the earliest time was next week against the New Orleans Saints. So who just gave up more than 40 points to the Seahawks on Sunday.
Wow. So So, all of you Giants fans out there, looks like your boy's going to be starting a little bit earlier, but we'll just have to see what happens as they go into their home game with the Chargers right there.
Yeah,
Staying,
and I think we also need to think about this from a fantasy football perspective. Like what do you think that means for Malik Neighbors or Cam Scatterboo and maybe probably Rondell Robinson as well because what Wandale is is still available in a good chunk of leagues to be claimed off waivers. So now with Dart as a starter, do you think it's a good idea to get Wanda Robinson onto your rosters?
there you go.
Maybe.
There's a good tip for all you fantasy players out there. Wandale Robinson, he's been doing pretty good, so you might want to consider picking him up this week.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, there is a reason why I wanted to trade for Cam Scatterboo, Tim, which Tim smartly said no to.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yes,
I just couldn't get rid of a prospective, real good receiver or
Oh,
running
you
back.
proposed a trade earlier today?
yeah. So I offered Cortland Sutton to Tim in exchange for Jared Goff and Cam Scatterboo, and Tim turned it down.
Ah. Hmm.
Because I think I'm expecting some good numbers from that young man right there.
So like that's like our league is actually the one league where I feel better about my wide receiver depth than I do about my running back depth.
Hmm.
Ah. Anyway, staying in the NFC East, looks like Terry McLaurin had an injured quad, and looks like they're not going to get a good analysis or prognosis of his injury until sometime this Wednesday. So maybe short term or long term. Of course, he is one of the best receiving weapons in that division right there, especially with the Commanders. So we'll just have to wait and see and get word on what happens tomorrow if they decide to extend him for a short period or a long period. I don't know, but talent like that going off the radar for a little while, that could I don't know if that would hurt their chances, but like I said at the beginning of before the season started, I figured that Washington would finish second in the division.
With McLaurin now, why do I feel like why do I feel like Luke McCaffrey is gonna have 100+ receiving yards against the Falcons? Why do I feel that way? I don't know.
Well, maybe because it might happen.
Yeah, someone has to catch the ball on for Washington on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that could happen right there.
Yeah, and also speaking of NFC East wide receivers, still, I mean, it was the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers said hello, welcome to the season 2 weeks late. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith both had monster games in the Eagles' comeback victory against the Rams. So 8 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown for AJ Brown, 860 and a tutty for Devontae Smith. So I think so now I wonder that, but now that the Eagles had to lean on their Super Bowl caliber receiving core to get them past the Rams, does this make you feel better about the rest of the season when it comes to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown?
I say if they stay healthy, they could be probably the best duo in the whole league. Definitely in the NFC, but probably one of the best top 3 in the entire league.
Yeah, I think we've seen two different offenses for the Philadelphia Eagles so far. One that constantly leaned on running the football, and that's what they showed week 1 against Dallas. That they ran the ball like so much that's why AJ Brown only had one catch in that game, then you had a situation where they were down 19 points, and the Rams really keyed in on slowing down Saquon Barkley, meaning that Jalen Hurts had to win the game with his arm, and that's exactly what I felt was going on during the Super Bowl. Remember, the Chiefs held Saquon Barkley to under 3 yards a carry in Super Bowl 59, and the way to foil that is for Jalen Hurts to make accurate throws down the field, and that's what he did, and he also ran for a couple of touchdowns as well. Ran for a touchdown as well. So monster performance for Jalen Hurts, and basically proved my point why he belonged in the top four, why he was in my top three of my preseason quarterback rankings, because of throws like that, plus the tush push being available this year and probably for the last year.
Yeah, man, they're already saying they want to try to get rid of that thing because fourth down and one, third down and one, you can expect it coming every time, and you can expect them completing it.
Yeah, but also, are you seeing some pre-snap movement on the tush push, because that's what I saw against the when they played the Kansas City Chiefs a couple weeks ago, and they're not calling it.
They're not calling it. Those referees having problems again. Well, anyway, I think the Eagles will be just fine with their receiving core.
I mean, but now the Eagles have the win over the Rams and the tiebreaker. So if the Rams want to go to the Super Bowl, there is a really good chance they're going to have to go to Philly and beat the Eagles in the playoffs on the road.
Yeah, definitely true there. Again, staying in the division, it looks like our star wide receiver, CD Lamb, is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. And it looks like our offensive guard and first round draft pick, Tyler Booker, is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with the same kind of injury.
Yeah, I mean that Dak to Pickens stack is which I have in one of my leagues, is looking pretty good right now. Just saying.
Yeah, it looks like he is doing all right here. I think I have something on my screen here. Yeah, he's doing all right. He's 90 of 26 for 800 total yards even, averaging about 6.3 yards a throw. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He been sacked 5 times, but it looks like Dak Prescott's doing okay. And of course, I'll be mentioning something else with the Cowboys when we go into our picks later on. But now you lose CeeDee Lamb for a little while. You're going to lose Tyler Booker on an offensive line that is doing okay. They're getting the blocks for both Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. So
yeah. It's and which is perfect timing for the Michael Parsons revenge game coming up on Sunday night. It's because the Packers are coming into Dallas, hosting the Cowboys, coming off a really bad loss to the Cleveland freaking Browns.
The Cleveland freaking Browns. Wow. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, but speaking of impressive performances, how about the job Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones have done for the Indianapolis Colts? Another dominant performance by that Colts offense that they torched the Titans, hang 41 on them. Mm-hmm. So I think if you look at Jonathan Taylor, he's got that he's getting right now into consideration for Offensive Player of the Year through 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm playing right now. Daniel Jones is an early favorite for comeback player of the year.
Oh, no question about it. And I mean, and Shane Steichen is doing a good job coaching him up and giving him the proper protection he needs.
I'll tell you what, if Daniel Jones keeps playing the way he is right now, we're going to have to change his nickname from Danny Dimes to Danny Dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's already had the Indiana Jones nickname attached to him by Kevin Harlan.
Hell yeah. Oh, Kevin Harlan. I'm calling both games.
Yeah, I remember that time but when we had two first round buys in each conference, but those days are long gone.
Right.
Leading the pack among wide receivers this week, it was Tre Tucker for the Vegas Raiders. 8 catches, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the Raiders' loss to the Commanders, like the lone bright spot on that Las Vegas offense. So I think the question is this a trend in the right direction? But for Tre Tucker, is this someone that you consider picking up? Or is this just going to be a one-hit wonder this season?
Well, I think it's too early to tell, maybe.
Yeah. And so, although I'll tell you,
Good flex
yeah,
position right there.
yeah. Although I'll tell you saying that Tre Tucker's got the Chicago Bears coming up on Sunday, so it's perhaps a favorable matchup for him. So maybe he could have another solid performance. But but I feel like that's where they're gonna try to go to. Then another rookie QB receiver connection that's been going on early. It is in Tennessee between we got Cam Ward, the rookie QB, and the wide receiver Alec Iomanor. Iomanor. Iomanor has caught a couple of touchdowns. I think two of the three touchdowns the Titans have scored this season have come from Alec Iomanor. So, and by the way, his next matchup, Iomanor, is against the Texans team that might not have Derek Stingley on Sunday. So
there's another little combination you might want to keep an eye on. What we got here? Oh yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It looks like they're going to lose their wide receiver Mike Evans about 3 to 4 weeks. He's got a strained left hamstring. So there's a little chink in the Bucs offense right there.
It make a group of fantasy owners rise up because now he's basically now the number one receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now.
I mean, I think there's one other thing though to keep in mind. Chris Godwin might be coming back this week.
But I think you know how this is going to go, Natale. That it's going to take a while for him to ramp up, and usually injuries like that take maybe 2 years to get back to a pre-injury performance. So
That's true.
I'm happy
I got him on my team. I got that Baker Mayfield and Ibuka connection now.
Yeah, that's why I never considered drafting Godwin in any of my 4 leagues this year.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think there was another thing that I wanted to put on. How about Caleb Williams this week? 298 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Highlighted by the flea flicker bomb to Luther Burden against Dallas on Sunday. So, is it time for Caleb Williams to be a weekly starter in fantasy football, or too early to say for this year?
I wasn't opposed to it. I think the Bears are legit contenders, so I wasn't opposed to this.
No, there's a strong possibility that he could be an every week starter. So, I guess, like I said in the during the summer months, I was kind of thinking that Caleb Williams would have a better year than last year. So, who knows? They got some talent on that offense. So, They could be good contenders in the up in the NFC
Yeah.
North.
I think all of us predicted the Bears to make the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
It's yeah. It's. I mean, I think. When I did the predictions on Fantasy Football Fever, I had the Bears making the playoffs, but then on Hooked on Sports, I put the Packers in instead of the Bears after the Parsons trade.
Ah, okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of NFC North teams, how about the Detroit Lions? They went into Baltimore and they stomped and bullied the Baltimore Ravens for 60 minutes on Monday night.
I sure had that one wrong. I had the Ravens winning that one.
Yeah, same here. I did not see that coming. I mean, I knew it was going to be competitive, but not like that.
I think it's such a huge credit to what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes what they did, and I think the key stat for that game is that the Lions had 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson while the Ravens had none on Jared Goff. And the Lions snapped the Ravens 57 game streak of having at least 1 sack in every game. So that streak is gone. So
Oh.
and the big fantasy performer last night was David Montgomery. He had 151 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He scored nearly 30 points last night. So that was incredible. Jahmyr Gibbs had a couple of touchdowns as
Yep.
well. So
I'll tell
and
you,
also
Gibbs.
yeah.
I was going to say Gibbs and Montgomery. They're a huge 1-2 punch. I tell you.
Yeah, I mean the best. So but now you gotta wonder: is this the right time has David Montgomery reached his peak value? Because as long as Gibbs is the lead back, I think he's gonna get the majority of the touches. Now Montgomery, to his credit, last night really maxed out his opportunities because he had that 7 because in their touchdown drive of the second quarter, the one that took up 11 minutes of time. So he got the majority of the runs after Gibbs had basically the whole opening drive to himself in terms of the touches. So but I'm one to believe that I would be nervous if to trade David Montgomery because like you never know what will happen with Jahmyr Gibbs. But boy, you have to think about trading David Montgomery if you believe Gibbs is going to be healthy the whole season.
Right. So we're going to say hello to some people right here.
Hey, Alex.
Alex Putnam in our league, of course. One of the stars of the Panic Game Pickup Show, which of course is seen every Wednesday night during the season, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, on the A Pistol 90 channel. And of course, our friend Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. How you doing, Daniel, right there? And of course, we have our friend Dashy, or Dino. Dino, he's 3-0. Yep, he is 3-0. We'll be doing the Fantasy League recap in just a little while from now. There's another injury report I got to tell for Arizona, James Conner. Ankle injury.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Out for the season. So that's going to be a big knock on the offense right there with him out.
I mean, has there been a more obvious waiver wire pickup than Trey Benson this week?
Mhm.
So it's because Trey Benson is still I think he was owned by like half of the leagues on ESPN. So it's just I feel like it's kind of obvious.
Could be Trey Benson. Look for him on your waiver wires, guys. Look for him.
Yeah.
And
No,
here's
Benson, think he scored a touch. I think he scored a touch against Frisco last week.
Yeah. One
Yep.
one piece of news I saw this a couple of hours ago, and this kind of gets me here. He was just signed by the Texans earlier in the year, but now after just 3 games, the Texans have released their safety C.J. Gardner Johnson. I don't quite get that.
Yeah.
Well, well, I mean, C.J. Gardner Johnson. I mean, the last 2 years, he was in Philadelphia in 22, not there in 23, and there in 24, and every time C.J. Gardner Johnson was in Philly, they went to the Super Bowl. So maybe the Eagles pick him up again.
Maybe if they really want to. I mean, they've already got the talent right now, but if they decide to do it, more power to them. That's all I gotta say. So,
Yep.
so it looks like one more note I see here. The running back situation in New England. So,
Oh yes. So the Patriots running backs lost 3 fumbles on Sunday, including 2 lost fumbles by Ramondre Stevenson, continuing the same problem he had last year. And then Treveyon Henderson took over the second half, and he did not fumble the football. So and who does Treveyon Henderson get on Sunday? They get none other than the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh.
So, I'm thinking like this week could be the week that he starts to break out and really live up to some of the hype some fantasy experts gave him.
Yeah, Daniel got a
Yeah.
question here. Will the 49ers sign a Hall of Famer son? Okay, which Hall of Famer son are we talking about, Daniel? Who could he be talking about? Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Is there any other topics that we need to discuss right now? I mean, I
I got one.
anything? Yes.
I got one. So how about Quinshawn Junkins? Has the Quinshawn Junkins show arrived? Because 18 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown in the victory over the Packers. He played in 36 snaps. Jerome Ford only played 24 snaps.
Mm.
Also, Jordan Mason, his first game filling in for Aaron Jones. 16 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, and I know in one of my leagues I have Jordan Mason, so I'm happy about that. Also, what about the Cincinnati Bengals and their position players without Joe Burrow? They all look like shells of themselves against the Vikings, and they have a matchup coming up against the Broncos on Monday night. The Broncos coming off 2 losses.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting matchup. We'll make our picks on that one and all the other games later on in the show. But right now, I think it's time to go back and take a look. That is the wrong button.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let me share the screen here and take a look at week 3 in our fantasy league. So as soon as we get the screen up there, here we go. And we're going to start with my team here. Didn't do too good this week. I got beat by Lucas by a score of 146.9 to 100.04. And it looks like both of our starting quarterbacks, Herbert and Prescott, both underachieved. Bucky Irving underachieved for me. CD Lamb, he went out in that game and didn't really recover that much. My only bright spot there was Shake Ferguson with 21.2. Other than that, not much more to say here. Jared Goff got left me 12.68 on the table. Uh, you know what? I really seriously, if I have a chance to put Cam Scatterbo on my starting roster, I'm going to have to do that because I'm very, very impressed with him.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
especially since one of your co-hosts wanted him.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh, look, big numbers from Jameer Gibbs, James Cook, Puka Nakua, DK Metcalf did all right for him. Got Alex Singleton with 12. Joshua Carty for the Rams got 15, and the only bright spot on his bench was 19.5 points left on the table by Keenan Allen. So with that, Lucas remains undefeated at 3-0, while I fall to 1-2. Uh, we got Dino. Dino went by and defeated Adam by a score of 139.14 to 133.32. Take a look at some of their players here. Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did really well for Dino right there. Jordan Mason with 23.6, Devontae Adams 15.6, and Devontae Smith with 20 even. Some of the big numbers right there. Meanwhile, look at this 32.8 points for Jonathan Taylor. What a big season he is having so far. And we mentioned Quentin Johnson got 15.9 and 23 points for the Steelers defense for Adam right there. And looking at there's the aforementioned Quinshawn Judkins with 16.5 points for Dino. Meanwhile, Chase McLaughlin got 20 points for Adam left on the table with 19 points from the Colts defense and special teams. And so with that result, Dino is undefeated at 3-0. Meanwhile, Adam falls to 2-1 in the division. Meanwhile, it was John Natale defeating Alex Putnam by a score of 130.32 to 113.02. Taking a look at some of the big points here. Look at that. Pretty much double points for double-digit points for Alex here, but I think okay, we got Baker Mayfield at 17.2 for Natale, 14.5 from Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, my saving grace was the Vikings defense. Look at that.
The Vikings
30
defense. Take a
points.
look at this.
Yeah.
39.
Yeah, I feel like I did not deserve this victory, but I'll take it. But I would rather earn my victory. This one was like an unearned win.
Fantasy folk, they unanimously had the Vikings defense as a streamer. So, and of course, the Vikings finished number one, so by a colossal margin this week. So, says but all it takes is one of your one of your roster spots to go off like what the Vikings defense did, and
Yeah.
and sometimes that could be a difference in winning or losing a football game. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, meanwhile, there was some posts that went viral about people having the Ravens defense in fantasy and then losing because of all the points the Lions scored. That I know on the standard scoring, the Ravens defense put up a -6, which for my calculations is the second time this year that's happened. And
Ooh.
Yeah.
and the Ravens have the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL, 31st passing and 30th rushing. And they happen to play Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, coming off their first win.
Huh. Oh, we'll see how that goes right here. For Natale and Putnam's bench players, Kyler Murray got left 14.6, Jalen Waddle left 15.9, 13.9 from Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne Jr. with 11.6, and Carson Swigsiger, the linebacker for Cleveland, only got 12 points. 15.3 points for J.K. Dobbins, Khalil Shakir 14.5, Jalen Warren 13.1, Dallas Goedert 10.3, and David Montgomery, the big 29.4 left on the table right there, but it didn't seem to matter. So with that, Natale's 1-2, while Putnam is 0-3. Next matchup, we had Flynn taking on KC. Flynn was the top scorer this week in fantasy with 166.22 compared to Casey's 131.96. Yeah, Flynn looks like your squad did exactly what it was supposed to do.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous going into this week because I thought Casey had some favorable matchups, but I have I have the one player that's been healthy the whole way, Christian McCaffrey, and he's putting up RB1 like numbers. So I'm kind of excited to have Christian McCaffrey on my roster this year. So fingers crossed he doesn't get hurt, but yeah, it's hard not to be impressed with Garrett Wilson going off and then Kyra Williams doing good, and how about Nico Collins? He caught a touchdown, so I'm excited about him. So I mean, back to where I belong near the after that rough start near the top of the leaderboards.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes scored 13.16 for KC, 24.9 big points from Amari and Hampton, who basically now the number one running back in Los Angeles right there. Got 20.7 from Amon-Ra St. Brown, 20.6 from JSN in Seattle. And looking at the bench players, Michael Pittman Jr. left 19.3 on the table. Lions defense special teams left 13. CJ Stroud 10.36. Cortland Sutton, he left on the bench, got 23.8 points, 15.7 from Chris Olave, and Kenneth Walker, the third, got 18 even. So with that, Flynn goes up 2-1 in his record, and Casey is at 1-2. And what about this matchup? Congratulations to our buddy David. He defeated Andrew St. Clair 137.12 to 111.62.
Yeah. Props to David. He remembered to switch his rosters around.
Yes,
David
did.
remembered.
He's learning, and he got 19.22 from Drake May, 22.9 from AJ Brown, 27.1 from Mark Andrews, 18.8 from George Pickens. And on his bench players, Hunter Henry left 29 points on the table. Meanwhile, Dalton Kincaid left him with 17.6 on the other side.
Wow, David benched Jamar Chase, and that paid off. I'm actually not mad at that. It's a different quarterback, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew, but there is a real possibility, guys, that David might have gotten the two biggest steals of fantasy this year, Drake May and Hunter Henry. That remember last time Hunter Henry was coached by Josh McDaniels, he had 9 receiving touchdowns. He's on a similar trajectory now that he's back calling the plays for Mike Vrabel in Vegas in New England.
Yeah.
And he has a respectable stack, May and Diggs.
And if I did not make sure that I prevented you and Lucas from drafting Lamar Jackson on draft night, the quarterback I was going to be targeting later on was Drake May.
Meanwhile, a good score from Caleb Williams, 29.12, 12.8 from DJ Moore, 15.3 from Trey McBride, 10.7 from O. Henry. Of course, I can't believe Derrick Henry now. Before this season, I think he only fumbled twice in his career. He's already fumbled twice this season alone.
No, he's actually fumbled 3 times.
Oh, 3 times. 3 times already.
And in the 2 primetime games, it basically ended the Ravens. It basically cost the Ravens the game in both of them.
Wow. He's usually got sure hands, but obviously not this time. 14 points from the Broncos defense for Andrew. And bench players Bo Nix left him 13.42, 12.0 from Cameron Dicker. And so with that, Andrew is 1-2, and so is David. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to take a preview of this week's matchups. Here's week 4. We'll take a look this year. We'll take a look. It looks like I am going up against Natale this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you going head to head, huh?
Yep.
My team named Baker Maker. I named my team after Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, the Baker team. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I originally named it Brees's Pieces, but I changed my mind on it.
And maybe for the better too.
Yeah.
Maybe for the better. So right now he is projected at 137.8, while I'm projected at 109.7. I'm thinking about making a few changes on my roster.
I made my first swap. I'm starting J.K. Dobbins this week in the flex.
That could be a good move. That could be a good move on your
part.
part.
Marvin Harrison has not been good at all.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose my patience with Genty and Hall. I think I'm giving both of them one more chance before I start thinking about moves.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
My backups are performing better than my starters. Like Jalen Warren's been better, Dobbins has been better, Montgomery's been better.
I know I'm benching one guy, and I'm going to start another one in his place. I may go ahead and I'm going to make some different changes here. In this matchups.
Yeah, you're only favored in 2 categories. You probably got to do something there.
Yeah, I'm going to do something seriously here.
I think you're favored by 10 points, and yeah.
So we're looking at the matchup this week with Flynn and Putnam. Flynn 149.6 projection to 139.4 for Putnam, and it's like most of the offense is in Flynn's favor. So looks like bench players just make a few changes there. So 10.2 is the difference there.
I mean, I had to drop Austin Eckler and Caleb Johnson for my league this week because Caleb Johnson can't protect the football, and Austin Eckler is not walking through that door.
Yeah, I keep thinking Austin Eckler might hang it up after this season. He's kind of getting up there, if you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, and I tell you, and there is a big roster worry that I have that I think that I'm afraid it's going to bite me in the butt come playoff time. So yeah, even though my team has looked pretty good so far, just need to figure out a way to get to improve.
And this week we'll have Lucas going up against Adam. Lucas's projection total is 32.8. Adam is at 137.5. Looks like the balance is going to shift over to Lucas's side right there. Looks like that's their starting lineups right there. And take a look down at the bench players. Looks like some of the bench players are projected to get some pretty good scores here. But I We'll have to wait on Brock Purdy, but I wouldn't know if to start him. They may have to stay with Mac Jones this week, I guess. But I digress, and we go now to the matchup between Dino and Adam.
You said going
135.
against Andrew.
Oh, going against Andrew, yeah. So Andrew is projected at 124.9, while Dino is at 135.9. And looks like it's almost balanced out here with the check marks.
Yeah, I
James
mean,
Conner is now on.
yeah. So Andrew's gonna have to make a change to his lineup, taking James Conner out for good
Yep,
the,
he's
with the
out for this.
season-ending injury.
Looking at their bench players here, I think okay, George Kittle's on IR, Jaden Reed's on IR, Rashid Rice still serving his suspension. Guess he's kind of waiting for him to get back into the lineup afterwards. And John
Well,
Jennings is questionable.
yeah, and also speaking of suspensions, I get Jordan Addison back from suspension because he's on my team.
Right?
And I knew I was going to be fine without him with that. So we'll see how he performs, and if he performs well, I think that's going to bode well for me for potential trade value.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. Casey is going up against David. Casey is projected at 137.9. David is at 113.2. Yeah, looks like old David's going to have to see if he can get some better players here. See some projected totals from the top area, projection from the bottom. He's got Joe Burrow and both Aaron Jones on IR right now. So they have to definitely go to the waiver wires on that. So there's the big difference right there, 24.7 point difference right there. So that's definitely going to have to be something that David needs to think about before the start of the week, before the start of week 4, which will come on Thursday night. So we go from that, and it looks like right now, I believe our friend Flynn here has a couple of tips for us, and he's got a start, he's got a sit, he's got some other fantasy stuff. So, Flynn, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yes, indeed. So I think you look. So this week I have a 3-course menu buffet on tap for you in terms of the running backs. So there are some starter, sleeper, and whatnot. So obviously the waiver wire pickup, as we mentioned, is Trey Benson. Now he's going to be the bulk back for the Arizona Cardinals going forward, and I'm looking forward to see how he does, because I know I already have him in one of my leagues, so I feel pretty good about that one. So that's going to be that's going to be great to see. So, in terms of a starter sleeper, cinnamon sleeper, I'm going to start with my sleeper, and the sleeper in this my sleeper pick is actually pretty available. He's owned in 66% of leagues on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, he's owned by he's got unclaimed by a pretty large amount of leagues. But I'm going to go with Ollie Gordon II, running back for the Miami Dolphins. And what I feel is like with the offense that the Dolphins have, it does support 2 running backs because Devon Achane is still is as a big part of a passing game as Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are, and Ollie Gordon had a good amount of touches throughout the course of the season so far, especially their game on Thursday night in Buffalo against the Bills. So I look at that and I see maybe some potential there. As great as David Montgomery was this week, I'm going to be sitting David Montgomery this week, despite his performance this week. Because if you look at what the Cleveland Browns have done to running backs this year, and the three starting running backs they faced are Chase Brown with a healthy Joe Burrow, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs, and the Browns will go, have given up the second fewest points to fantasy running backs, and if Jameer Gibbs is going to get the bulk of the touches, doesn't mean might not mean success for David Montgomery this week. So if you have your running back depth, which I do in the league, I have David Montgomery. In the two leagues, I have David Montgomery. You're gonna want to trust it and go with that. And with that being said, my stud of the week in fantasy is also a running back, and that's Amari Hampton. Now that Najee Harris is hurt, he's got a great matchup on tap as the Chargers go to New York and take on the Giants. I think this is the official coming out party for Amari Hampton. I say 100 yards, a touchdown in the game. So I'm going to go with a stud this week in Amari Hampton.
Very, very, very interesting choices right there. I say Omari Hampton is going to have a very, very, very great season. Coming up here, where did we all go? Here I am. Here's Flynn. All right. Where's the settings here? Come on. Where? Okay, where are we? We're having some fun here.
Here we are.
There we are. There we are. So with that information from Mr. John Flynn, you players out there may want to take a few notes on that because he may have something for you. And guess what is one of my favorite parts of the show right now? It's time to test your brains, folks. It is trivia time, and I believe each one of us has a question to think about for this week. So, who would like to give theirs first?
I guess I'll start. So this is a question based on 2025 stats so far. So, which wide receiver leads the NFL in targets through the first 3 weeks of the season?
Targets, okay.
Which receiver leads the league in targets this season so far?
Yep. All right, who's next?
That's a very interesting one.
I guess I'll do mine. I'll do mine next. Yeah, mine is completely unrelated. Mine is just based off of a random graphic I saw in my newsfeed. But I saw on a newsfeed that I forgot what the number was exactly, but currently Patrick Mahomes is leading the league in most playoff wins before turning the age of 30. There are, I think, 3 additional active players in the top 10. Who is directly under Patrick Mahomes for most playoff wins before turning 30?
Most playoff wins.
So they could be over 30 and still qualify.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just a period. Who has the most playoff wins before turning the age of 30, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it is an active. I'm looking for the next active player below Mahomes.
Next active player. Okay. We got it. All right, Tim.
Okay. My question has to do with what happened this past Sunday. My question is, who was the Browns starting quarterback the last time they beat the Steelers? And this kind of back. This kind of goes back a little bit.
I
So
have an
The
who
idea.
Browns.
was
Wait.
who was
Does the Browns? Do the Browns play the Steelers this week, or
wait, a minute, who did they beat this past week?
they beat the Packers?
Oh, that was the Packers. So
They,
okay,
they
so the
beat,
question is, so who was the so the thing is, who was the starting quarterback the last time that the Browns beat the Packers? I had my information wrong. So
all right.
I
last
So
time
award
just
you
for
no
that,
points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, either case, I might have an idea on yours.
that was a little slip up right there. That was a little bit of a slip up on my part, I will admit that. And so with that, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and bring up this next thing right here.
Hmm.
Let's see here what we got. I'm going to share this now because I believe it is time. Go ahead, put these on the board right now. Yep, here they are. It's time to make our picks for week 4 this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this seems like it's going to be a very interesting week, starting off with the Thursday night. We have the this
Mariners.
I mean, the Mariners are on their way to are probably going to be making the playoffs. So I don't blame you for calling them the
Mhm.
Seattle Mariners.
yeah, since Natale lives up in Washington State, but anyway, talking about another Seattle team, the Seahawks. They are traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are favored by only a point and a half in this matchup. So, who wants to sound off first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I could do mine first, I guess. Yeah, coming to this game, I was kind of leaning towards Arizona, but with James Conner out, that changes everything. And with Marvin Harrison struggling, the only offensive side here has been Trey McBride. So with Arizona on the verge of being in shambles, I couldn't scratch off Seattle fast enough in this one. I'm going with the underdog here. I'm taking the Seahawks to win this one, 24-21.
Yeah, I think there's of course the things to like about Seattle, and credit Seattle for not falling into a possible trap game situation because that was very much a trap game threat for the Seahawks. But give me the Arizona Cardinals in this one. I think the Cardinals I think are going to win the game. I think the Cardinals have a better roster, 1-53, than Seattle. And I think Arizona was very close to being 3-0 after starting to 2-0. So I think Kyler Murray is gonna have a big day. I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. I actually disagree with you on this, Italian. I think he's gonna bounce back in this one. I think he's got matchups there, and I think the defense is gonna play a part of it as well. So. I think Arizona's gonna win. I think they're gonna cover. I'm gonna say pick them right now by a score of 26-23.
Okay, and I am going to go ahead and take the Seahawks based on what Natale said. Connor's out. Trey Benson's coming in. We're going to see how well he does in this matchup, but I think Seattle's going to take this one. 26-20, give me the Seahawks. And that's the Thursday night matchup. Now we go to the Sunday matchup. We have an international game, which will be on 9:30 Eastern on NFL Network. I believe this game is in Dublin, Ireland.
Yes, it is.
It will
Interesting.
be it will be the Minnesota Vikings versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Minnesota is coming in at 2.5 point favorites. Let's see here, Minnesota. I think both of these teams are doing all right, and of course you can't really pick a home team because it's on neutral ground. But based on what I've seen so far, I think Jordan Addison is it Jordan Addison coming back this week. That might be a big plus for the Vikings. This Vikings are 2.5. I am going to take the Vikings to win and cover this one. I am going to take the Vikings. Let's see, 27. Well, let's say 27-23. I'll take the Vikings over the Steelers.
Hmm. Yeah, this one's kind of tough for me. This one could really go either way. Yeah, with Addison coming back, that's a big weapon there. So, although the Steelers, I think, have a slightly better defense, I think that they're just going to prevail here. I'm actually going to pick the Steelers with the points here. I'm going to take a risk. Give me the Steelers with the points, but the Vikings to win this one. I'll go 28-26.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings to win. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings to cover. Look, the Steelers are basically plays away from being 0-3. Cause I think that's something that needs to be recognized here. It's because they barely beat the Jets, and they needed 5 takeaways just to beat the Patriots in New England. So if it wasn't for all those mistakes, you could have been easily looking at a Steelers team that's 0-3. And as compared to Minnesota, I think there's a lot to like with what they have. Carson Wentz, I think, is good for what the Vikings have right now. With the JJ McCarthy situation. And also, I think that the last time the Vikings, Brian Flores' defense saw Aaron Rodgers, that was the game that got Aaron Rodgers' head coach fired when they were the Jets last year. And Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. So I think this is. I don't think this is a good matchup at all for anybody with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So. Bench Rodgers, bench Metcalf if you can, and maybe you get some garbage time production from Jalen Warren, which might, if you believe that's what the game script is going to be. But I can't stress enough how much I love the Minnesota Vikings. I'll take them to win by 10 points. Vikings 23, Steelers 13.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good right there. Right now, we're going to go to Atlanta. The Falcons are at home against the Commanders this week. Commanders are coming in at 2.5 points, 2.5 point favorites, that is. After what happened, I don't know if Atlanta can recover after that thrashing that they took at the hands of the Carolina Panthers. But then again, on the other side, you have the Terry McLaurin situation with his injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out for too long, but I think Jaden Daniels can try to pick up the team a little bit again. This is going to be a close game. I see a late field goal, about 5 minutes left in the game. And I hate to say this, and I love my boy Bijan Robinson, the running back for the Falcons from Texas. He's having a good year, but I'm going to have to give it to the Commanders this time. Late field goal, as I said. I'm taking the Commanders by a score of 24-21.
Ooh, just barely covering the spread. I like it.
Really?
Yeah. I pretty much think you hit the nail on the head on this one. Yeah. I think the Falcons are in trouble pretty much. Yeah. Bijan Robinson is really the only bright spot right now. I got to take the Commanders as well. I'll go 27-20.
Yeah, I think it's going to be only a matter of time before the Falcons sack both Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot, because So it's because the Falcons are exactly who I think they are. They are a team that was desperate. They pushed all their chips in, knowing that they're both going to be on the hot seat, and knowing that Arthur Blank was probably going to fire both of them. And as a result, the Falcons don't have a first round pick next year because they traded up for James Pierce, and they were good against Minnesota. They were okay against Tampa, but then against Carolina, it was Michael Penix Jr. Playing hot potato with the football, and I feel better about Washington in this game with with Daniels, better coach, better quarterback, better defense. I love Washington. I think I have them winning this game by a score of 30-20.
Uh-huh. Alrighty then. Well, and with that, we go to Buffalo, where the Bills are going to be at home this week against the woeful New Orleans Saints. And here is the biggest spread of the week. Buffalo 16.5. And I'd say that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I think I know what all of us are already thinking right out of the gate.
actually, yeah, this is a huge spread here. New Orleans has no identity whatsoever. Meanwhile, Buffalo is firing on all cylinders. Surprisingly, this might surprise you guys, but this was too obvious for me to make a lock of the week. So this is not my lock of the week. But I am
Okay.
definitely taking the Bills, and I'm definitely going to give the points. Give me the Bills by a score of 38-20.
Oh.
Barely covering the 16-point spread.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be generous because even though that's big, 16.5 is a very, very tall order. I mean,
Right.
more than likely they will, but I'm just gonna have fun with it. I'm just gonna say that the Saints are gonna cover just for the heck of it. I'm gonna make it my lock and say 30-15.
Oh,
Okay.
play it, Tim.
Play it.
Yeah, I'm 3-0 in my lock of the week so far. So let's see if I make it 4-0.
I mean, so much for me making the Packers my lock of the week. That there are people that got knocked out of the survivor pools based on that game. But
Wow.
yes, 16.5 is a crazy number. And it is so tempting to grab the points with the New Orleans Saints there, but I just think Buffalo is too good. Their roster is insane. Their roster is improved, and they played against a team that showed a lot of fight last week in Miami. And they outplayed them. So I think you figured that. So I think in Fantasyland this week, I'm thinking big game for James Cook. I'm thinking big game for. I think it's going to be a Khalil Shakir type of game. I think he's going to have 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. I think Josh Allen runs for 2 touchdowns. I think he throws for 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to take the Bills to win this game by a score of 38-16.
All righty then.
So that's not your lock, I'm assuming then.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not putting that as my lock of the week this week, even though I have it winning by 22 points.
Gotcha.
All right. So with that, we go down to Detroit, where the Lions are going to be hosting the Cleveland Browns over at Ford Field. The Browns are coming into this one as 8.5-point favorites, which I think is just slightly too little there. I mean, Cleveland, that was just. I think that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Yeah, a fluke win for the Clowns against the Packers. I think they're going to come back down to earth. I think Montgomery may have another great game. I see Amon-Ra St. Brown getting at least one, maybe one or two touchdowns. I think they're going to come back down to earth this week. So I am going to take. I'm going to make it an interesting total here. I am taking the Lions. The Lions over the Browns by a score of 30-18. And for the Lions,
Ah,
yep, I'm
kind of like
locking
that
the
one.
Lions this week.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, the Browns win there was a fluke. They basically got nothing. They just got lucky. Packers made too many mistakes there, which helped the Browns win that one. But yeah, I mean the Lions are better than the Packers, so they're not gonna make those same mistakes. Give me the Lions to win this one, 31-21.
I'm gonna take the Browns with the points,
Okay.
and I might sound crazy, but I think going back to a point I made before, the Browns have a legit rush defense. As I mean, said they actually surrounded Miles Garrett with an actual run defense, and Miles Garrett is is one of the people for defensive rookie of the year. And they can very much slow down Gibbs and Montgomery this week. And if they're gonna have to make Jared Goff win the game with his arm, which is the way you have to beat the Lions in order to win, that's what Green Bay did week one, which is what Chicago couldn't do last week or Baltimore last night. If the Browns can contain the ball and Joe Flacco be able to protect the football, then the Browns are going to be very much in this game. I'm not going to say they're going to win because I just think the Lions are too good for that to happen. But yeah, I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be more competitive than people anticipate. So on that, give me the Lions to win this game by a score of 27-20.
All right, all right. Now we have an AFC South matchup in H-Town, Houston, where they will be at home against the Tennessee Titans. And the Houston Texans are 7-point favorites in this one. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it right here. They will win and cover. But I say Houston will win straight up. They will win. But looks like I'm gonna take Tennessee with the points because Cam Ward is starting to warm up. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's having a very good comeback season here. He may be one of my candidates for comeback player of the year. I don't know about that, but I'm going to go ahead and take Houston with the win, Tennessee with the points. My final score 26-21. So what do y'all have to say for Tennessee and Houston?
Hmm. Yeah, these division games can definitely go either way. I honestly see this as I could see this as a one-score game very easily. I'm actually going to take Tennessee with the points here, but I'm gonna give the edge to Houston here. I think they're just slightly better, so I'm gonna go. Let's go 24-21.
All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, we're on the same page here. I can't pick Houston to win to cover. Because the line stinks. CJ Stroud has not even looked close to what he was in his rookie year, where he was outstanding, and and if you can't block, what good are you gonna do? And now Derek Stingley might be out for an injury, so there's gonna be some room to open up the passing attack. But for Brian Callahan, oh by the way, Brian Callahan relinquished his play calling duties this week to his offensive coordinator. So could that be something that boosts the Titans? With that, I'm looking at Alec Alec Ailmanor to have another double-digit fantasy output this week. I don't know necessarily about Tony Pollard this week, but I also think they're going to have to get Calvin Ridley involved in the pass attack because I think he's too good with that. And also in the previous two games before last week, Tennessee was actually competitive. They hung around against Denver. They hung around against Stafford and the Rams, and I think they're going to hang around again this week. So I'm gonna grab the. I think it's going to be a field goal game, which I think it's been pretty much the standard throughout the NFL. So I'm going to take the Texans to win by a score of 23-20.
Uh-huh. So with that, we're gonna head down to it's your game, guys. It's the Los Angeles Chargers and the
See,
New
I
York
think
Giants.
I think we missed the game before this.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh yeah. We have the Carolina Panthers traveling to New England to take on the Patriots, and the Patriots are 5.5 point favorites. Uh, Patriots are looking surprisingly good this year. Jake May's doing a good job. Carolina, on the other hand, playing slightly better than they did last year. Slightly. It's hard for me to pick this one, but they say you can't really pick a winner. Go with the home team. So, but I'm actually thinking it's going to be kind of close. Actually, I'm going to take. Actually, my final score is 24-21. I'm going to take the Patriots with the win, but I'm going to take the Panthers with the points here.
Yeah, yeah. This one was a tough one for me to pick, and I mean, I was actually tempted to make this my garbage game of the week, but I have something else in mind. But that something else in mind is probably not what you guys think it's going to be. But
Right.
we'll get into that one later. But as far as this one goes, I think this one's going to be pretty close. I mean, the Panthers looked great last week, but then again, they're playing the Falcons. There's no way the Panthers are going to replicate that 30-point win like that. But this one I think is going to be close too. I'm also going to grab the Panthers with the points, but I'm going to take New England to win this one, 26-22.
So there are some games that are hard to pick against the spread. This one isn't. I can't stress enough how much I love the Patriots this week. I think I think their fumbling problem is now solved with. So assuming Treveyon Henderson is going to start, which I believe that's going to be the case, and that's the assumption I have going to this pick segment. If I don't think the Patriots are going to be giving the ball away 5 times again like they did this week. I say big game for Henderson. I say big game for Drake May. Big game for Hunter Henry. David, if you're watching, I think you're looking at those things, and I think the Panthers are gonna go back down to earth a little bit here. So I'm gonna pick the Patriots to win this game by a score of 28-13 over the Panthers.
All right. So now we're going to go to your game, guys. Giants are home against the LA Chargers. And the Chargers are coming into this game as 6-point favorites, and this could be a little bit of an intriguing game because now we see Omarion Hampton in all of his glory with the Najee Harris injury here. But then again, you have the official debut of Jaxson Dart. Now, was it start for the Giants to? Was it wise for them to start Dart so early? I'm not sure. Of course, Russell Wilson did not have a very good game last week. So with that, and of course, Cam Scatterbo is now going to be pretty much running back one, and the Giants right there. But I like what the Chargers have been doing so far this year. This is another game where I'm going to be taking the points on this one. This may be a little bit closer than what people say. This may be, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm taking the Chargers with the win, but I'm taking the Giants with the points. Final score Chargers 27, Giants 24.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so far, the Chargers have definitely proved me wrong. Coming into our season predictions, I had the Chargers finishing in last place, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. They're undefeated right now. Yeah, they look indestructible right now. Seems like nothing could go wrong for them. They have a great offensive rookie of the year candidate. So yeah, well, their defense has been pretty respectable. So yeah, we'll see how Jaxson Dart does in his debut. I think he might get a touchdown pass or two potentially, but the Chargers are just too good. I got to take the Chargers on this one, 29 to 22.
There were three difficult picks this week, and this was one of them because I think this is one of the three tough games I have to pick because you finally get Jaxson Dart to start. So finally, hopefully, those reckless turnovers are a thing of the past, and where Russ Wilson is just throwing the ball to the wrong team. There's some energy. The Giants fan base is kind of riled up a little bit for this. But then again, the Chargers are going to go into this game with a major coaching advantage and a major defense advantage in this one. I think the Chargers are just too good right now because I think the Giants. The Giants have had problems stopping the run all year, and Amari Hampton. I think he is a lock for 100 yards rushing and a touchdown at least. I think Justin Herbert has been one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in football this year, and I think Justin Herbert has been flying under the radar. But he's protecting the football as well as anybody in the National Football League, and Greg Roman has called a great offense so far this year. So I think there's much to be excited for, but I think this is kind of out of desperation for the Giants to start Jaxson Dart. So I'm gonna lay the 6. I'm gonna pick the Chargers to win. I'm gonna pick the Chargers to cover, and I have them winning by a score of 24-14 over the New York Football Giants.
Alrighty then. Very interesting matchup right here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to be hosting the reigning, defending, undisputed champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are now coming in at just 3-point favorites here. So Mike Evans is going to be out. Chris Godwin could be coming back. Lucky Irving's having a pretty good year. Baker Mayfield's doing okay. But with those Eagles just escaped last week. They're going to give the Buccaneers a run for their money. I'm going to say the Eagles take this one on the road. I say they win and cover. So give me those Eagles by a score of 28-24.
If you go next on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles. Because remember the last time these two teams played each other, it was Week 4 in Tampa last year. Jalen Hurts was without AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, while the Bucks were relatively healthy. That was the last time Jalen Hurts lost a game he started and finished. He has not lost a game where he's played start to finish since that time 52 weeks ago. And now, in terms of the injury bug, the tables have turned. Now it's the Bucks that are dealing with the injury problems. So I think this is going to be a case where I think the Eagles establish themselves as once again the class of the NFC. The Eagles were the team I picked preseason to go to the Super Bowl representing the NFC. And I think this is gonna be a game where I think you look at you look at the Eagles and showing their championship DNA. So I think the Eagles are going to improve to 4-0, and I have them beating the Commanders. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that'll be by a final score of 28-21. So I've been in covering.
Yeah. Despite the injuries that the Bucks are dealing with now, I still have believe it or not, I still have this game marked as the game of the week. Yeah, I could still see a scoring fest here. Yeah, I do now that Godwin's although Godwin's back, he's gonna be on probably a very limited snap count. And like Flynn said earlier, as of right now, Ibuka is probably gonna be the number one receiver. You might see Cade Otton get some more targets here and there. But yeah, the Eagles are just too good. I expect a slugfest here, nonetheless. Give me the Eagles to win this one, 35-30.
Ooh, yes, high scoring game. I might want to check that out if either one of my stations is going to carry that one. Now we go to the late games on Sunday, and we begin in Los Angeles over at SoFi Stadium, where the Los Angeles Rams will be taking on the undefeated Indianapolis Colts. The Rams come in at 3.5-point favorites. And actually, I'd like to hear your guys' perspective on this one before I give mine.
Yeah, I got to admit, Daniel Jones looks really, really good. Who would have thought that they would have started 3-0? Yeah, this team is pretty good. Although the receivers haven't done a whole lot, it's basically, Jones has done a lot of work on his feet as well. Jonathan Taylor looks fantastic. The passing game, well, the receiver, Daniel Jones is doing good at passing, but at the same time, the receivers also need to do a better job at catching the ball. Pittman, Pierce, they need a little bit of work. But yeah, Daniel Jones, I think, is guiding them in the right direction. Although I do see the Colts getting their first loss of the season, they're going to cover the spread on this one. So give me the Rams to win this one, Colts to cover. I will go, let's see, I'm going to go 28-26.
All right. Flynn, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I don't think his mic is on. He's too far back.
Looks like he just got home.
Oh, yeah, there he is. I hear some noises.
I hear something.
Here I am. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Entering his passcode.
Yeah, turning my alarm off.
Ah.
I didn't know.
Gotcha.
I didn't know which way I could go in because there was work being done around the house. But yeah. And so here I am. I'm back now. This was another one of those tough games to pick. With these two talented teams, but I still have faith in the Rams. I think the Rams are the better team. I think the Rams coming off a loss matters in this context. So I think there's things to like about the Rams, but the special teams is kind of concerns me because they had two blocked kicks in the fourth quarter, and now there's like a way to figure out how the Rams the weaknesses in the Rams kicking coverage. So that could be an issue. However, I think this is going to be a game where the Colts will come back down to earth a little bit. I think this is going to be a good game for Kyren Williams. I think a huge game for Puka Nacua. I think Puka Nakua is maybe the best bet for 20 plus points from in PPR settings this week. So I think with those things in mind, I'm gonna pick the Rams to win, but I'm going to protect a field goal situation. So I'm gonna grab the points with the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm gonna pick the Rams to win by a score of 27-24.
Yeah, Rams do have a great talent. They're doing great. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're on top of the AFC West right now. Puka Nakua having another great season. Nakua Matata. And but I mean but right now I just can't I cannot get over how Daniel Jones is doing with the Colts. Jonathan Taylor having such an excellent year. I agree with Natale. The receivers need some work on trying to catch the balls. Hopefully, they'll be able to do that this week. And right now, one of the hottest teams right now is the Colts. Call me crazy.
I like
That's
it.
right, folks.
I'm not
I
mad at that. I
have
like it.
a hot one right here. This is a hot one right here. I am going with my upset special. I'm taking the Colts over the Rams, even though it's going to be a close one. Give me the Colts over the Rams, 27-24. That's my upset special of the week. And so, with that being said, we go to the next game. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the San Francisco 49ers over at Levi Stadium, and the Niners come in at 3-point favorites. Yeah, Jacksonville they seem to be doing all right. 49ers, they're still kind of banged up, but of course they're really going to be banged up on the defense now that Nick Bosa is going to be out for the season. This was another kind of a tough match to call, despite the circumstances. I'm just going to go ahead and give it to the Packers. No. I'm going to give it to the 49ers. Give me the Niners over the Jaguars by a score of 24-20.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners too. Yeah, despite their problems on the injury front, they're still better than Jacksonville. So I'm going to go on here 22-17.
I think the fact that Vegas Insider has this at 3 instead of 3.5 scares the bejesus out of me. So it's because that's how I think the score this game is going to go. So, but I still I am not. I think the Jags are frauds. I think that the Jags are 2-1. Give them credit, but and they lost to a Bengals team after Joe Burrow got hurt. But I just think the Jags are frauds. So I'm going to pick the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy should be back this week. I think this is a big game for Ricky Pearsall, big game for Christian McCaffrey. I think that this is a Niners team that give them credit that they have bent but haven't broken. And I think the Niners are going to be saved this year by the gift of the schedule. So give me San Francisco to win and cover by a score of 27-20 over the Jaguars.
Yeah, let's take a trip over to Kansas City, where the Chiefs are going to be hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens come into this game as 2.5-point favorites. And I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone thought the Ravens were going to beat the Lions last night, but and I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't know it was going to be the other way around with Detroit winning. But I think Baltimore is going to come back. The Chiefs, they managed a big win last week, but I think they might come back down to earth this one. This is going to be a pretty interesting game here, but I'm going to take the Ravens on the road, and I'm going to give them. Let's get 26. Just going to get them barely covering the spread. 26-23. I'm going to take the Ravens to win and cover.
Yeah, this one was tough. This one was really tough for me. This is one of those like coin flip games. It can really
Mm-hmm.
go either way. Both teams are in deep trouble, but when in doubt, I'm picking the home team. I'm gonna ride here with Kansas City, but this won't be easy. I mean, even both of these teams can certainly win this one, but I'm just gonna go against my better judgment. I'm going with the home team. Although I really think the Ravens are gonna win this one, for pick purposes, I'm taking the Chiefs, 34-30.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot. This is a huge pressure game for both teams because the loser of this game will have dropped to 1-3 on the season. So
Right.
and I think that's that. But in terms of I think the eye test matters here, and Kansas City has not passed the eye test for me. And the Ravens offensively, if it wasn't for those two fumbles, they could have easily been at worst 2-1. So like I'm not concerned about that at all. So I think the Ravens go in. They remember what happened last year. They remember how that game ended last year, the season opener, where Isaiah Likely's toe stepped off with just an inch shy of what should have been a game tying touchdown. And I think the Ravens. My concern level for Baltimore for the rest of the season, even though they're off to a bad start, is 0 because remember last night they didn't have their best run stopper Matabuke, nor their a solid linebacker addition Kyle Van Noy. It was clear that the Ravens missed both of them on the field last night. So which is why I'm not hot on Isaiah Pacheco this week. I'm not high on Travis Kelsey, despite the Ravens being struggling. And I think this is going to be a Lamar Jackson revenge game in some sorts, based upon what happened in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
the season opener last year. So I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this game. I think they keep hanging 30 on opponents. They'll win on Sunday by a score of 31-24 over Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
This next game was it was very difficult for me to pick this one. The Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Bears are heading to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Raiders are at 1.5 points, and yeah, right. The Bears really did a number to my Cowboys, especially in the second half of that game. I mean, my Cowboys could not cover any long passes.
Mm-hmm.
They just could not stop those guys. Las Vegas, they're at home. I think they're doing okay. If I had to pick, if this was a coin flip game, I would. I think I would, but I'm think right now I'm going. It's going to be a very close game, 23-21. Say go with the home team, so I'm going to go with the Raiders. Raiders over Bears, 23-21.
Yeah, yeah. This game was so difficult for me to decide, and when they're and this game doesn't really pass the smell test for me. This game is just too weird, and when games don't pass the smell test for me, this marks one thing: it's my garbage game of the week.
Oh, this is your.
Yeah, I know. I know the consensus for the garbage game of the week is a couple games down below, but
Right.
Generally, for the most part, I refuse to do division games as garbage games. I just won't do them.
Right.
But
Right.
this game comes the closest one, so by default, I had to pick this one. I mean, the Raiders are struggling badly. Dente has, although he had a very good game one, he's just been awful this past two games, and I really don't see him doing much better. Hopefully, he proves me wrong on this one. I don't know what's going on with him. Man, the Bears haven't been too great either. This is a true toss-up. I see a low-scoring game here. I'm going to go with the Raiders 19-16.
Yeah, I mean this. I mean, if you're somehow in your survivor pool, this is a game I would definitely not touch. So with this one, but I just think the Bears are the better, more talented team now. Now, do I want to see more from the Bears to hit home what the expectations are? I would like to see more. But I just not a believer in this Raiders defense. I just don't think they're that good. They have major issues at linebacker. Their secondaries have been atrocious. They can't stop the run. So what does that mean? Big game maybe for DeAndre Swift. Maybe you might want to start him in your fantasy leagues this week. Maybe you start Romo Dunze. So because I think that's going to be a Romo Dunze thing now. The Raiders defense is not as bad as Dallas's, but I think Caleb Williams is going to have opportunities to put up a lot of gaudy statistics. So with that being said, I'm going to pick the Bears to win this game in Vegas by a score of 27-23.
Alrighty then. I don't know why this thing is kicking my camera off, but my camera is just fine here. And so now we go to the Sunday night game.
Oh, you skipped one. There's a Green Bay and Dallas. Skipped one. Got to talk about your game.
I know why he doesn't want. I know why he wanted to skip that.
It is a Sunday night game. It's the Packers and the Cowboys from AT&T.
Oh, that's right. I goofed. Never mind. I forgot there was too many night games.
Green Bay comes into this game as 7-point favorites. And of course, it is the return of the former top draft pick for the Cowboys, now in a Packer uniform, who is now wearing number 1, Micah Parsons. I want to hear you guys first.
I think you'll appreciate this, Tim. I'm taking the Packers as the lock of the week. And look, I can't buy a lock of the week for crying out loud. I mean, so much my Green Bay pick this week, but yeah, I think the Packers are coming off that dreadful loss to the Browns. I think this is an opportunity for them to get right. I think monster game for Jacobs. I think Jordan Love, after that atrocious fourth quarter, I think he bounces back in a monster way. I'm thinking a big game for Matthew Golden, who I begged the Dallas Cowboys to draft with the 12th overall pick. I mocked him to go to the Dallas Cowboys with the 12th overall pick in the draft. Instead, they chose offensive line. And I think you look at that Cowboys defense. They're so could this be an opportunity, a place where if you start everybody on the Packers in fantasy, you can beat you can win in leagues with the whole NFL pool of players on that alone. That could be a real possibility here. So I'm going to pick the Packers to trounce, embarrass, steal the soul of Jerry Jones in prime time. I'm going to pick the Packers to win this game 38-13. And yeah, Tim, lock of the week.
Does make sense. Does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna be that brutal. I mean, of course, Cowboys just took a really bad blow with losing CeeDee Lamb for at least 2 to 4 weeks. So it looks like they're gonna have to rely on their tight end to get a lot of targets here, Jake Ferguson. So, but who even knows if they're gonna target him at all? That remains to be seen. But if the Cowboys did have CeeDee Lamb, I actually might have been tempted to pick Dallas, or at the very worst, have them cover the spread. But since Dallas does not have Lamb for who knows how long, I'm going to take the Packers to win this one. I'm not going to be as aggressive, but I'm going to go 30-20.
Yeah, that was the kind of the way I was going. But of course, like I said, Lamb's out. Tyler Booker's going to be out for a while. Looks like the majority may be on George Pickens, maybe on Jake Ferguson. And hopefully, I mean, my question is, why the hell do you want to make a running back out of a wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was up with that?
Right.
I mean, getting CeeDee Lamb to go on that rushing play, that was a very, very stupid decision. And so this is for Brian Schottenheimer.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Look, the guy is the receiver. Let him receive. Because of that, he's going to be out for a while. And yeah, I can see the Packers having a big day over my boys. Yeah, this is going to be very rough. And yeah, in fact, it's going to be so rough, I don't know if I even want to watch it. My final score is Packers 35, Cowboys 20.
Hmm.
So let's get past that. And we now go to I don't know why they do these things nowadays. This Monday night doubleheader football. First game on ESPN is going to be the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins coming into this game as 2.5-point favorites. And as far as I'm concerned, this, of course, is my garbage game of the week.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's Flynn's garbage game too, then.
Anyway, both teams kind of going the same way. It's just too bad to call, but I'm and once again, this is one of those situations where if you don't really have any idea, just go with the home team. And for Alex's sake, for Lucas's sake, well, wait a minute, Lucas is a Steeler fan, and Alex, of course, is a big time Dolphin fan. So for Alex's sake, praying for you, Alex. I'm praying for the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins over the Jets by a score of 24-21. It'll be a close one, but I think the Dolphins can try to pull it out.
Yeah, and in order for me to make a score that's just slightly more than my garbage game score is 19-16. So
Yeah.
here with the Dolphins and the Jets, I'm going to go 1 point higher for each. Give me the Dolphins to win 20-17. Not much to say about this one.
Right.
Yeah, for me, in each of my 3 money leagues, I have Justin Fields on my roster on all 3 of them, and like I would if he's so that the matchup is perfect for Justin Fields to put up a lot of points. I just don't know if he's going to be able to play because of concussion protocol. So,
Right.
so Tyrod Taylor's going to make the start. Will make the start for the Jets, barring anything unforeseen. And the Jets were an undisciplined, unmitigated dumpster fire for 3 quarters on Sunday, and they almost came back and beat the and won. And as for the Dolphins, they still have Tua, they still have Tyreek, and I think and I kind of dig the starting Tyreek Hill, making sure he remains in your lineup. I'm not going to frame this as sky's falling on the career of Tyreek Hill just yet. So it's because Tyreek Hill did have monster numbers against the Jets the last time they played a competitive game where both teams were still in it. So I'm just gonna be throwing a dart in this one and pick the Dolphins to win. Like, I think this is going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a wildly entertaining back and forth game between division rivals. So yeah, so give me the Dolphins to win a high scoring game by a score of 30-27. So I think that's how I think it's going to go for this one. It's a when in doubt, take the home team.
Interesting there. High scoring, maybe. Who knows? And we'll wrap up week 4 with the later Monday night game, which will be on ABC. It's AFC West rivalry here. Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos. Broncos come in at 7-point favorites. And yeah, Bo Nix is having a good year. Broncos still have that good defense. Cincinnati, I'm still worried about Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah, he's still going to be out.
He's going to be out. So you got that other guy that started just this past week. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I think Denver wins straight up. I win the straight up with 7. That's exactly how many points I got Denver winning by. I'm taking the Broncos over the Bengals 31-24.
Yeah, I definitely have the Broncos winning here by double digits. Yeah, the Bengals are in bad shape, especially without Burrow. Yeah, the what's his name? I forgot the backup quarterback's name now.
Jake Browning.
Yeah, Jake Browning. But yeah, he hasn't found that connection with Jamar Chase just yet, and I don't see that happening this week either, especially because of that strong Bronco defense. So give me the Broncos to win this one. They're going to double down and win by 14, 29-15.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe David offered some fantasy advice by benching Jamar Chase in fantasy this week in our league, and that turned out to be the difference in him not getting his first win.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. But I still think that Bo Nix still has something to prove, and he has not looked great as well. So I think this with this being the low scoring game, and by process of elimination, guys, this is my
What? Garbage.
Oh,
What?
are you giving me a hint here, Flynn?
Wait a minute.
what
Garbage. What?
garbage. Yeah, I think the Broncos going to win and cover, but I think it's going to be a low scoring, ugly game on national TV. Give me the Broncos to win by a score of 17-7.
Wow, that's kind of brutal right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Brutal indeed.
Yeah, and I mean, so before we answer our trivia questions, we have a bunch of questions. So in the comments that I think we should look to answer here.
Dashy wants to know, you think the Bengals could trade for Russell Wilson?
Nah, I don't see that happening.
So I mean, if Jake Browning struggles again, and knowing that Zach Taylor is on the hot seat, I mean they're gonna have to trade for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a pretty much similar answer right there. Oh, we have this one gentleman says here, would y'all send Worthy and Elick
Ao Manor
or for Trey Benson? Worthy is by number 5, and Benson would by RB3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting Trey Benson, I mean, one of the lessons I learned from last year was that running back depth matters, and you need to have that extra running back capable of producing RB1, RB2 damage. So of course you want Trey Benson on your team right now.
Oh yeah, he's going to be a hot commodity this week. So watch your waiver reports and see if he's still available. If he's there, you might want to take him.
Yep.
So, and another question: Should I drop Tyrone Tracy and pick up Ollie or Corum?
It's Blake Corum or Ollie Gordon the third. I mean, I just don't know. I think the thing about Tyrone Tracy is that if Cam Scatterbo performs at a high level, I don't see any reason for the Giants to put Tracy back into the lineup. So I mean, I would consider dropping Tracy right now for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But if you have an IR
Interesting
slot
there.
in your league, I would maybe stash him in the IR for now and
Exactly.
wait it out.
But the thing is, the Tyrone Tracy, he has to be placed on the IR for that to happen, and he's not IR eligible until that happens.
Right.
So, all right.
So I think it's time to give some answers. See if how much we know about our questions. So the first one we had was from Flynn. I think his question was, which receiver
Has had the most targets, I think it was.
Yep, through the first 3 weeks of the season, who has had the most targets?
Hmm.
who has had the most targets during the first 3 weeks of the season? Which receiver? I'm going to I'm going to say I'm going to go out on a limb and say Emeka Egbuka.
Emeka Egbuka of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, so that's Tim's answer. Now here's Natale. What's Natale's answer?
Yeah, I was initially feeling Malik Neighbors, but I don't want to be a homer here. And I was also kind of thinking Jamar Chase initially, but I don't think he got too many targets in that last game. Oh boy. I feel like running backs have been getting a lot of targets lately. Damn. Forget it. I'm just going to say Malik Neighbors.
Okay, so you said Emeka Egbuka. So I think as for that answer, Tim.
All right, it's all up to me now.
Yes. So Emeka Egbuka right now through 3 weeks has 21 targets, which is tied for 31st. As for Malik Neighbors, he's actually tied for third among all pass catchers.
I wasn't that far off.
That's a tie with Jake Ferguson and Christian McCaffrey, each with 32.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So that's the 3 of the top 5. In second is Puka Nacua with 35 targets, and in first place with 37 targets is Chris Olave for the New Orleans Saints.
Wow, Chris Olave.
14 targets in week 3, 10 targets week 2, 13 week 1.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So
And that, as for others that you tried to mention, Jamar Chase is tied for 11th with 27. Yeah, I think that was the only. Who else did you mention besides those guys when you're thinking?
It was just those two.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Mike Evans, but due to the injury, I'm like, no, I don't think that could be him.
Yeah, Mike Evans is also has 27 targets.
Oh, okay.
3 weeks, so he's tied for 11th. But that won't be the case much longer.
Yeah. All right, I'll take my guess. That wasn't bad.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
But who's supposed to do next? Tim's or mine?
Let's go with yours, Natale.
Yeah, mine was just based off of a random graphic I saw through one of my news feeds. It was Patrick Mahomes currently has the most playoff wins before turning the age of 30. I believe it was either 15 or 17, something like that. Who is below him, just directly below him on the list for active players?
The first name that came to my mind was Josh Allen.
Okay. You're thinking Josh Allen. All right, what are you thinking, Flynn?
I think it was important for Natale to clarify so that the active players include players who have already exceeded 30 years old. So I think that was important there. So I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, funny guys mentioned those names. Both of those players' names appear on the graphic I saw. Josh Allen has 7. Russell Wilson has 8. But one active player has 10. And that is none other than the 40-year-old Joe Flacco.
Wow.
Joe Flacco.
Holy Flacco.
Yeah. But you were both very close. Yeah. Troy Aikman's on the list with 10. I saw a few names on there.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Very good indeed.
All right, now we're down to Tim's question.
Okay, my question is, the last time the Cleveland Browns beat the Green Bay Packers, who was the starting quarterback for the Browns?
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of guesses in mind, but I mean, the first name that I thought of, but I have a feeling that might be a little too far back. My initial first thought was Colt McCoy, but dating back to like the mid 2010s. But for some reason, I think it was further back than that. I'm going to say Trent Dilfer.
Okay, Flynn, what do you say?
So why do I feel like it's like a long time ago? So, I'm trying to think of who the Browns quarterbacks were. And so who was the Browns quarterback when Red Right 88 happened?
When what happened?
Red Right 88. That was an infamous play call with in a playoff game between the Raiders and the Browns.
Wait, what year was this?
1980. That playoff game.
I don't know. I don't know that far back. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
That was before I was born.
That's going way back.
Is so like I'm trying to think who was that. I'm just gonna throw a guess and say Bernie Kosar because I feel like that was the quarterback.
Yeah, you got Bernie Kosar, and then I'm gonna stick with Trent Dilfer.
All right, so Natale says Trent Dilfer, and Flynn said Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, I hope it's not Colt McCoy. I was thinking him initially.
Well, Colt McCoy beat the Seahawks in Seattle in 2020.
But Colt McCoy was not the last Browns player to beat the Packers.
All right, so it's looking promising.
So Flynn, you said Bernie Kosar.
Yeah.
All right, it's all up to me.
Right.
And Natale, you said Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Well, when did that happen?
Yes, it was. It was Trent Dilfer. This was back in week 2 of the 2005 season. That was just over 20 years ago. It was in Green Bay, and the Browns won that game by a score of 26-24. Let me give you Dilfer's numbers. Dilfer completed 21 out of 32 attempts for 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a passer rating of 131.8.
Yeah, I just threw him out there. Those are the only 2 past quarterbacks that I remember. That's how bad the Browns are. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks that I remember.
So well done there, Natale. It was Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, so I just wanted who was the guy? So who was the quarterback for Red Right 88? Let me just double check with this one. Brian Sipe was the quarterback of that game for the Browns in 1980. So
Brian Sipe. Yeah. So I would not know anything about that. I was just a little kid back then, so I would know about that. But I do know one thing. It is about time to put a wrap on this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. But before we do, we have friendly reminders for you. Yeah, first of all, we always want you to take a listen to our friend John Flynn with Hooked on Sports. You can listen on Apple iTunes, you can listen on Spotify, listen on TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts. Look for Hooked on Sports. And I should also say that not only can you listen to the podcast, but you can actually see that young, handsome face doing the podcast on the YouTube channel, John Flynn.
Yep.
So I think I ought to add a little bit of that on the next time when we do this show. Just add on that you can listen to it and you can watch it at the same. Well, I don't know if at the same time, but you can watch it now. So, and of course, you know he does 2 shows a week. One show is basically his NFL picks, and the other show is pretty much around the world of sports. And of course, tomorrow it's not just any paint and game pick'em show. It is a special show. It is the 10th anniversary of the paint and game
Wow.
pick'em show. It started 10 years ago. Have very special guests with us. I think got Alex, Lucas, myself, and then we got Big Romy, and we got Gary, my buddy,
Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Garrison, the young assassin. That guy always cracks me up every time I talk to him. In fact, I need to pull out a little tape on one time when he made me laugh so hard that my nose started bleeding. I'll look that up and I'll see if I can pitch it in and throw it in on next week's show. And of course, next week we'll be wrapping up week 4 and we'll preview week 5. So, what do you guys think? You got any questions down? Put them in the comment section below. You can also put in your picks for this week. Oh, one more question. We have a last minute question. Would you drop Keon Coleman for Luther Burden?
Ooh, that's a tough one, guys.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that actually.
So because like I view both of them in a similar light, believing with that, but
wow, yeah, that
Yeah, right now it's hard to tell between Keon Coleman and Keel Shakir, who's the primary target. Too soon to tell, and I see promise for Luther Burden. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'd say either way you're pretty good. So, thanks for the question. Got in just in time. We are about to go ahead and sign off for the night. Don't forget Hooked on Sports. Don't forget about Paint and Game Pick'em 10th anniversary show tomorrow. We'll be back here 7 nights from now. Thanks, guys, for watching. And thanks to my bros here, Natale and Flynn. We always do this thing just for you right here on my channel, TJM3774, and on John Flynn's channel, which is John Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to do it, everybody. For John Flynn and for John Natale, I am Timothy McClelland. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the games, everybody, and we will see you back here next week. God bless you all. As always, be a good sport. See ya.